Hi, I am Dr. Megan, a sports psychologist with Mind of the Athlete, and thank you so much for joining me today for Mental Training Monday. Today, I want to talk about transitions. In the athletic world, in the academic world, we are about to hit a huge period of transition for a lot of people, being transitioning from high school to college and playing your sport there, or transitioning back to school after summer, maybe even some of you transitioning from your club team to the team that you play for at school. And so transitions can be really difficult for a lot of people. We're humans, we like consistency, we like knowing what's going to happen. And so if you have a transition coming up, just know that you and most other people also have some difficulty with that initial transition until you can get back to a routine, feel a little bit comfortable, and can really hit the ground running. So I wanted to go over 3 tips and 3 pointers for you in this upcoming transition to help make it a little bit easier on you. My first tip for transitions is to find your people. Maybe you're an athlete that's transitioning for the first time away to school and college and athletics at a brand new level. Maybe you're transitioning into your senior year. Maybe you're transitioning from one team to another. Ultimately, there's a lot of different stressors. There's a lot of different things that go into that main idea or that main thing being the transition from one place to another. So find your people, find your support network. Maybe they're new teammates, maybe they're teammates you've had in the past, maybe it's your friends, maybe it's your family members, maybe it's just 1 or 2 people that you have a really close relationship with, maybe it's a sports psychologist. So whomever your people are that you're able to really talk to, bear your heart out a little bit, talk about the stressors that you're currently undergoing with this transition and all of the things that go into it. Find your people to allow yourself the time and the space to really talk about it, to let that stress go, and to have an ability to process it. So find your people to help you through this transitional period. The second tip I have for surviving your next transition is focus on the things you do know. At Mind of the Athlete, we define anxiety as fear of the unknown. And with transitions, there are a lot of things that are not known about that transition in the future situation. So as an example, if you are an athlete that's transitioning from high school to college, it's a brand new time on a new campus, maybe it's your first time living away from home, you don't know how that's going to go, you don't have a really good friend group yet, you don't maybe know a lot of people, you don't know what the increase in intensity playing for a collegiate team versus a high school team may be. You don't know maybe the pathway from your dorm room to the practice field or to the locker rooms. There's a lot of unknowns that come with these transitions. And so if there are things that you're able to make known, maybe like that pathway from your dorm to the practice field, utilize the internet, utilize Google, maybe talk to teammates that are older, ask them and talk to them about their transition, or if they have any tips and pointers for joining that team. If there are things you can make known, awesome. But once you've made known the things that you can, focus on those things that you do know. Ultimately, there's still going to be some unknowns associated with that transition. We can't find everything out. However, if you focus on the things you do know, like the fact that you've been playing this sport for a really long time, you've gone through your summer workouts, so you are feeling pretty confident in your training. Maybe in the past you've done drills similar, you've survived previous camps before. Whatever that may be, focus on those things that you do know to help boost your confidence and your ability to overcome this transition and this new hurdle in your training and your athletic experience. The final tip I have for overcoming your next transition is just take a step back. So often we can really get some zoned in tunnel vision on what our current experience is. But if you're able to take a step back, it makes that transition that appeared very, very big and large and in your face a little bit smaller and a bit more manageable. So if you're an athlete that's returning to camp and it's that transition back to school and back to athletics you know is going to be a big one, take a step back. Remember that you survived camp last year, that you got through it, and yes, you may not be transitioning to all brand new things, but you'll be able to transition through that camp pretty well. If this is your first time doing something and transitioning to a camp or transitioning back to school or college for the first time, maybe there were different coaches that you've played for in the past, or maybe there are things that in the past you've gone through that'll help beef up your confidence to overcome this transition. But if not, you know for a fact that this time next year or this time in 3 months from now, that transition will be over with. you'll have your feet wet on campus and feet wet into the new training programs, the new coach, the new team. That transition will be pretty well made. So taking a step back can help make that initial transition that seems really, really large a little bit smaller, because you know it's not anything that's permanent. So find your people, focus on those things that you do know, and take a step back. Best of luck with your transition, and I hope something here today was helpful for you in achieving a clearer mind for a better performance. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you next week.